Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm gonna try to use this color to go color that I don't like that much. I like it, but I just don't know how good of a pillow it will be. So this is called Quixotic Plum. And I've had it a long time and I shook the heck out of it earlier, so I don't know how it's gonna do. But I figured if we have full coverage, we won't see it a whole lot. I don't mind if it peeks through a little, but I don't want it to be like the star of the show. So I wanna try to use one of the chameleon colors. So I'm trying to kind of use up some paint and at the same time try out some of those colors. So I'm not sure how I'm going to accomplish that, but hang with me and we'll give it a shot. Okay, so this is the chameleon I think I'm going to use. It's called Tanuki, and you can see it's kind of got a bronzy shifting to pinkish. So I'm going to show you the colors as we go. Let's go ahead and put this. I'm using a 10-inch MDF, and I hope there's not a lot of bubbles in this pillow paint because I did shake it quite a bit earlier. And yeah, this is Sherwin color to go, which I think I already said. I have a bunch of these and I'd like to use up the ones I don't like and make room to get more of the ones I know I like. I buy them when they're on sale and then it's like I'm afraid to waste them, so it takes me forever to use them, which is silly. So this color is kind of like a raisin color. It's pretty, but you can kind of imagine why it's sort of difficult to blend colors for it. So I decided if we did colors that would pretty much cover it, if it peeks through, it's no big deal. So I'm obviously going to try to use warmer colors, and I'm going to use up some colors that need to be used up as much as I am going to experiment with this new color because I need to continue to use up paint. So the color I'm going to put down on the top is kind of an interference-y color called Aurora. So this is a Bling It color from Colourarte, and it's in kind of a pearl base, like a grayish pearl base, and it's kind of like a red. So I did just stir it, so it's going to have bubbles, unfortunately. Bubbles are not as offensive when you're using a colorful pillow, as long as when they come through, they're not like a horrible color, you know. So I figured that's kind of warm, it kind of goes with it. When you see these, they're kind of unassuming. When you see them in the little pods like this, they look so gray that it's hard to tell what they're like, but when they spread out with some color, they're really beautiful. So I'm going to use that one, and I'm going to use a little bit of this Dreamsicle color. I've been working through using up this one. It's been mixed up over a year. It's a nice peachy, orangey, you know, like a Dreamsicle. So I'm going to use some of that, and I already have too much paint on here, but remember, I'm not necessarily wanting this pillow to peek through a bunch, so I kind of would rather have the Aurora. The other thing I could have done is I could have put the Aurora down and spun it with a petal knife. Anyway, I know what I'm trying to say, but I'm not saying it well. And done that, so whatever. I didn't do that, so we're not, what's the point in talking about it, right? Externally processing. So this is another color I've had mixed up a long time, and I think this was the PrizmPour version, but this is Crimson Lust from Colourarte. It's a beautiful red. So I'm going to put this one down. And I'm going to do a smidge of after I pop these bubbles, I'm going to do one of the new PrizmPour colors, which is Hibiscus Flower. I think it's one of the only ones I haven't yet used. And then I'm going to drizzle, you know what, let me put this one on. So this is going to be the chameleon color. It's going to look grayish at first because of the mix, because these are just micas. They're not going to have any like paint color in them like the primary elements do. So until they dry, they're going to look kind of unassuming. So we're going to put a heavy helping of that one. I just had to thicken it up because I apparently mixed it too thin. And I'm going to put some of it here because I want it to show, but I don't want it to necessarily be on the top because I don't know yet how well it'll hold on from a cell structure perspective. I'm sure it'll be fine, but now we're going to add, what did I just do? We're going to add some of the hibiscus flower, and I'm not going to put too much. And I'm going to use a black cell activator, so I'm going to put some more poppin' paint colors up near the top so that we have some contrast. Oh, I didn't show this to you. This is hibiscus flower. It's beautiful. So we're going to drizzle that one on there. And then I'm not going to put too much because I don't want to cover up the chameleon. But I am going to drizzle a little bit more of the chameleon because I just really want it to show. And I'm still going to put quite a few tube paints up on the top. So I'm going to make sure I have a lot of paint for this size, obviously. All right, so I am going to put a little bit of blue black just because we have a lot of like reddish colors in here. We might need some contrast. I have way too much paint on here, so I'm hoping it's not going to be a bust. Anyway, I'm going to use this I just thinned out a little bit. This is Quinacridone Crimson from Colourarte. This is a Vivid Intense Fluid acrylic. I need to use this up. It's been mixed up a little bit. So I'm going to use that. And I just thinned it down with some Sonja. And I'm going to use a little blue black for some contrast. And this blue black is also a Colourarte Vivid Intense. Sorry, I keep getting spam phone calls. It's so annoying. So we're going to do this. And then I'm going to put some brighter colors right under my cell activator. So I didn't even check to see what the consistency is. I have this Matisse Naphtol red, is that what it is? Naphtol Scarlet. And it's a gorgeous orangey red. Let go. And let go. So you see, it's very poppin'. I'm going to use this color, and it's very thick, unfortunately, and there's a big globby in it. But it'll be a nice pop of color. I don't want to put too much of it, but my thought is that it should be a nice, bright pop of color underneath the black cell activator. And sometimes if you put a little bit of like a tiny bit of white or like a light opaque color right underneath your black cell activator, and not too much, you get some nice, really nice little bubbly cells underneath it. So my thought was, instead of doing that with white, I'll do it with Naples yellow red. But my problem is what I have here is very thick, so it may not work very well, but we're going to try it. I'm going to drizzle it a little bit because it's so thick that if I just put it on the bottom like I just said, it's going to be bananas. But that's my hope. So I have the white over here too, but I thought this would go better, and you know, I buy these colors so I can do stuff like this, and then I don't do it. So we're going to use a black cell activator. It's Lamp Black from Mgram mixed with Australian Floetrol. Before I forget, I get my Australian Floetrol from Pixel Paint Designs. She offers you guys a 10% discount, and she ships from the United States, so take advantage of that. The code is below. And of course, anything Colourarte, you can save 20% using Mandy1120. That is also below. So I'm a lot nervous about how much paint we have on here. It's too much. So, oh well, we're gonna do our best. The problem with too much paint sometimes is you have to get some of it off, so your cells are gonna be huge. And I quite prefer tiny cells. So, also very rusty, so let's hope. I need a win today, you know? So we're gonna do our black. So I've been working on blowing blooms out myself, and I'm working on not narrowing my blow too much when I tend to purse my lips too much. So, oh, my hair's already in the paint. Hold on. Like a lot of it. Dang it. Okay. Too much paint. Oh no. Hold on. There's too much paint and it's too thick, so I'm having a heck of a time getting anywhere. Okay, this part might be a problem. Oh gosh, I'm gonna have to go again, guys. This is terrible. But the colors are working. And the idea I had is working, but the paints are way too thick. But I'm getting the popping cells. Let me get the paint out of my hair and see if I can save this. I always get paint in my hair. I have my hair in a ponytail, and here it is, still full of paint. Okay. I don't have enough cell activator to get this across, I don't think, because it went deep down into it. The only thing that might save us is we have so much pillow paint, it might spin far enough. And as you can see, I didn't do a great job not narrowing my blow out toward the edge, but the center is really pretty. So if I can get something to happen here, I think we'll still spin it and see how far we get. But man, am I having a hard time catching enough pillow paint or catching enough cell activator, and I don't think this is going to work better. Nope. Nope. Okay, I think I'm just gonna spin it and see what happens. This is messy. Can I shift it? I might be able to shift it. Except it's still moving. Let me see if it comes back in the center from where I just blew. It's messy for sure. But you can see that chameleon pigment very nicely. So if I go again, so you can see this, what did I say? Was that Luna? It wasn't Luna, it was Aurora. You can see how nicely it kind of created a cushion for this. However, we have just way too much thick paint on here. So if we go again, I'm gonna have to be careful to keep my layers thinner because I could barely move that paint. I don't think that this is going to be a success, but let's just let it play out. Did I even unpause you guys? The center is really quite nice. Okay, I did, but we'll see. We'll see. Like I said, there's a lot of paint on there, but in order for me to like not let this die, I would want some of this to come to the edge. So basically, I want the middle to spread out. So I'm gonna move some of my paint so I can spin a little harder. Like, I'm not gonna cry too hard if we have to go again, but I just hate to waste paint. If there's a chance I can save it. I mean, either way, I'm gonna have to spin some of this off. Because the center's cool. I mean, is it perfect? No. I mean, you can tell I messed up the blow, but it might actually work out in our favor that I had too much pillow paint in there because there's more to spread out. So the center, so here, I like. Everywhere else, the colors are pretty. So with resin, it would be cool. And some of these colors, you would not even notice how beautiful they were until they got resined. I'm gonna give it a pretty ambitious spin here. I said that, but I didn't spin that hard. I am getting some wonkiness in the middle just because of the way I ran out of cell activator in the middle. But it's kind of flowy, so it seems like it works okay. I don't know. I know that you guys would tell me I'm being too picky and to not kill it. We got the middle to open up a little. The Naples Yellow Deep did what the white does that I like. So that's cool. We still have some funkiness here. But because of the darker background, I don't know that it's as noticeable as it would be otherwise. So I'm gonna give it another good spin. Pretty sure I'm gonna get paint everywhere on the floor. And I don't know. Part of me wants to let it live, and then part of me is like, just pour over it, don't be cheap, you know? What do you guys think? I know by the time this video goes out, it won't really matter because I will have already done the things. But I really do like this part. This part I blew into the pillow, but I love the cells here. So I don't know, so like part of me is tempted to keep it because it would still be pretty resined, right? And then part of me is like, go again so you can see what it should look like and what it would really look like, you know? So then I'm like, maybe I just go get another wood round, let this dry, see how it dries. Because there's some really cool things like the cell structure where that yellow or the yellow-red was is really quite nice. And then we want to see how the chameleon shows, right? I can see it kind of laced in through here. So if I were to display it with basically cells and lacing in the middle and only lacing here, at least it's evenly messed up. If I were to display it, I think I would display it kind of off center so that it looks like we did that on purpose. So what I think I'll do is I think I'll let it dry, and I think I'll get another MDF round and give it a shot if you guys will hang with me for another one. I'm a little nervous about using some of that thicker paint, so I might skip one of like the bottom colors. So let me wipe my hands and see if I can't show you. And then, gosh, from up here in your view, it looks so messy. But from my view, because I can see all the shimmer, it looks like it has a lot of promise. So let me just get clean gloves on in a second. So I think I'm gonna bring you down for a close-up so you can see what I see. And then we'll just go again. I can always pour over it after it dries if I still don't like it. So let me show you up close. Okay, so reds sometimes are hard to see, but you can see that Crimson Lust is quite incredible. So you see what I mean about the cells? See how that, like that yellow creates those little peacock cells? So it gives you the nice pop of lighter color so you can use a black cell activator even though we're using all these dark colors. And look at that Naphtol Scarlet, just that nice pop of like red orange. So, and I am glad that I added the blue black. It was a nice touch. So I really like what's in here. I'm just not crazy about the fact that it's not everywhere else. So let's see if we can go again. Let me know what you think. But as far as the color shifting, let me show you. You're not going to be able to see a whole lot of that until it dries. Plus I can't go warm, cool, light very well. But there, I can definitely see the color. It's hard to show you in this light. I can definitely see it, and I don't know if I can catch the color shift. You can catch it a little bit if I turn, because you can start to see where it shifts to a different color, but I think you're going to be able to see it better dry. Okay, let me get another round. All right, so this time we need to use less paint and use less paint in the layers. So I moved that one over. I'm going to thin down my Naples yellow red a little bit now that there's more room in the cup, because it was pretty thick. So I put a little bit more Sonja in it, and it's still pretty thick. But those thick paints with a cell activator that's not that thick make things really difficult to blow through. So thanks for bearing with me. It's still pretty thick, but I was able to thin it down. So you use water is something you can, but it can cause your paint to break apart. Not break apart, more like flocculate. So I usually keep like an old Sonja bottle that I have marked Sonja and water, which is something I learned from Shelly. So she'll usually keep some that's like 75% Sonja to 25% water. So you get a little bit more of a watery consistency without just putting water. But if you need to, you can add a couple of drops of water, but you typically don't thin down bloom paints like you would your regular paints. So I did this the same with the Matisse. This is really an incredible color. Okay. All right, let's go, because it's already a long video. On the bright side, this is not my favorite pillow color, so wasting a little bit of it is, fulfilling the intended purpose of using it. So that's kind of good. I still don't want to waste it. It's not like Sherwin paint is cheap. It's not necessarily expensive. Well, it's about $10 for a quart in America, but I don't ever spend the regular price. Obviously, I wait till it's on sale. But it is really handy, and the sizes are quite nice. And the containers you can pour right out of are also nice. Just with these colors, you got to keep them kind of mixed up. And unfortunately, all the bubbles from me shaking it up earlier are posing a little bit of a problem. So we are still going to use this Aurora on the bottom as kind of like a little layer. If I didn't want to kind of do the same thing I did a second ago, I would go get a palette knife and swipe it out, which I guess I still could. But then we get the background without having the super thick paint, but I think I want to stick to my original plan. And then the Dreamsicle, it's a little thick, but I'm gonna swirl it around in some of the places. It is actually very thick, but I don't think it was the problem. But I also don't think that we could see it much, so I don't want to just put it in here to put it in here because it was way underneath all those other darker colors. So, and then we did the Crimson Lust, which definitely showed. It was like, I'm here, look at me. And it was a beautiful key player in our last bloom, so might as well be in this one. And again, it needs to be used anyway, and it's quite a lovely color. It's kind of like a garnet red. It's really pretty. All right, and then I did a little bit of the color shifting, the chameleon. I think I'm gonna, like, I don't want to pour it because it's expensive, right? But I think I want to pour it so it's got a more pronounced presence in here. We want it to show off, right? And I don't really want to contaminate my little container. And then I'm gonna do, plus sometimes drizzling when you have bubbles in your paint is good, but sometimes it also introduces more bubbles. So then this is going to be the hibiscus flower, and we're gonna drizzle that. I said I wasn't gonna use so much paint, and we're already back in the same boat. So I'm gonna do one more little drizzle of this guy, just so he doesn't get lost. Although I think he's gonna show up just fine, but make sure he's represented well. And we're gonna do the Quinacridone Crimson. This is quite thick still. And I have just enough left in my cup to be annoying. I can't use it all in this bloom or it'll completely overpower. So I'm just gonna, part of me thinks maybe I should just save this for a different bloom and use the other ones, but I wanna have the similar colors represented, you know? And there we go. That's a beautiful color. So, oh my gosh, I'm getting paint everywhere. Don't tell anyone. It's like on my shirt and my puppy pads have moved, so it's getting all over my counter. It's okay, I'm good at the cleanup. Okay. This is way too much paint, by the way. In case someone wants to write me, I know. I used too much paint today, for sure. Okay. Oh, where's the other color? I just had it in my hand. Okay. And the blue black. Here you are, blue black. I like how we got some nice pop of blue without it being too much. Oops, that was a lot right there. That's okay, we'll just offset it somewhere. It'll probably spin off anyway. Okay, blue black. This is way more colors than we need, by the way. But I wanted this pop of this bright color, and I like the way it worked out. So even though it is more than what we need, I liked the way it played out in the color palette, especially with the yellow red. So it's nice and bright. All right, now I have probably a little too much in the center because it's thick. So I'm just gonna have to be brave. I may have to use a little extra cell activator in case I get stuck like that. Because if you saw, it wasn't, like, the circle wasn't even expanding. And unfortunately, like, we may have the same problem this time. Even though I thinned some stuff out, I'm still using as much paint as I did before. The only difference is I don't quite have as much pillow paint, and that was also a factor because it was deep under there. So I'm hoping, okay. Yikes. feel like I'm forgetting something, but like, where else would it go? All right, 1 little dime size, 2 little dime size, maybe 3, maybe 1 to grow on, even though that's probably too much. Try to keep my hair out. Gosh, it's not gonna work. I need to put it like in a bun or something. Oh gosh. Oh my goodness. My hair's in the paint again, you guys. Gosh, and I don't have time to deal with it. Uh-oh. Okay, so there's some parts that are better. I got my hair in the paint again. I blew down into the pillow. I got my watch in the paint. Like the watch face, no less. This is a problem over here, so let me see if I can fix it. Let it come back. That didn't help anything right there. Uh-oh. So because of how thick it was, and the fact that I've had to try to get my hair out of the paint, I could not get the petals to go full coverage. So we have a little bit better coverage around, but like I couldn't blow them over. And even now where I'm trying to help it, it's not working. So I think that I better just spin it because I think we're going to lose any chance we have to correct it. This part bothers me a little bit. I wonder if I can extend. All I'm doing at this point is blowing into the pillow, so I'm gonna go with no. So I'm tempted to like do something with this edge because we're probably not going to be able to do a whole lot to make that part better, except for a lot of times when I try to do that, it ends up being too obvious. So in fact, everything that I just did is probably too much. Let me spin it, and we're gonna just hope for the best. Is it an improvement? In many ways, absolutely. This part is the part I'm concerned about. So let's see. And I'm gonna keep giving it a good spin. If I can get the center to expand quite a bit, kind of like what I was hoping to do with the last one, I think it will be quite beautiful. So there's this part that I told you guys I don't think I'm gonna like that I did that. I'm right about that. But I would say 70% of this bloom is really beautiful. So we're not gonna kill it. We're just gonna keep spinning and see how far we can go before the cells start getting wonky. So you notice I'm not spinning super fast because I love the cells. And if you go too far or too fast, you could lose them. So the only part I'm really not happy with is what I did right there. If I had just let those lines be straight, it would have been fine. So that probably won't bother anybody like it would bother me because I know how it got there. So I'm just gonna see if that helps me not look at it like that. My dog is snoring. I don't know if you can hear him. It kind of helped me a little bit because now I see it as like more of a line. So I am happy I did it again. The paints were, there was just way too much paint and it was very thick. So I'm gonna bring you down for a close-up. I think we're probably about at our point where we need to stop spinning before our cells start to go. And we still have some really beautiful ones like this right here. So I'm gonna take my gloves off, try to not be such a disaster, bring you down for a close-up, and then hopefully I'll be able to show you a picture of this dry so you can see the chameleons a little better. I can kind of see them in action, but I know once they dry it'll be different. If not, I'll post a short once it's resin, but they're performing fine, which is part of the experiment. In case anybody's concerned, my hair is covered in that color in the ponytail. All right, anyway, here's our close-up. Again, Crimson Lust, gorgeous, am I right? And you can see this chameleon color right there, but it's hard to see the shift yet. Okay, anyway, we've got some beautiful things going on here. So this part right here is a little bit messed up, but it's all right. And then these beautiful cells here, we've got a nice center. I love that pop of that orangey red Matisse color. I love these little clusters of cells. And you can see the Aurora color right there. You see that? The chameleon colors in there too. Anyway, I am super happy with the color palette. I'm super happy I'm using this weird pillow paint color. You can see where I tried to fix some stuff there, but these cells right here are really cool. Anyway, let me know what you think. I know this was a long one. Hopefully it was worth it. Let me know what you think. I can't wait to see it dry. I may not wait to release this video until it's dry, so I might have to show you a later one. But yeah, thanks for watching. Bye. Hang with me just in case I show it to you next, because I really do want you to see it dry. Okay.